over the rainbow. You know, if you're tuning in after the fact, you can just flash forward to 00:00. Guess what? You don't have to listen to me blab. But I think you want to listen to me blab because, number one, I have blueberries. Number two, after the episode, after the live read, none other than Rob Otto himself, co-writer of Slay, is going to be on as our guest. Who's the first Facebook person coming in? Go and give me a chat. Chat me, biatch. I think it's always funnier if I, tell you what I'm about to text. Oh, you know what? That doesn't work. Let's try it again. I see Cobalt. Christine, hello. No, Christine, Billy's going to die. Sorry. It's just the way it is. No, the corrupted human. Holla! Hello, A.B. Sigler. What a doll. You guys, I wish I had saved a little bit of the kielbasa that she gave me as my pre-show snack. Shit's so good. It's crazy. Yes, Cobalt, Rob is in the house. He's listening right now, although he's muted, because Rob has a tendency to fucking take over the show. And right now, it's my time, motherfucker. It's my time. Christine says episode 99 was best ever. We shall see. Because this episode's it's a gut punch. It's a grab in the short and curlies. Kyle Jacobson, what's going on, dog? Good to see you, motherfucker. So, guys, we, of course, continue to fight, hey, Sean, a giant battle against technology and the demonic evil forces of electrons and ones and zeros. It's a nonstop battle for A&I. Spent 3 hours today trying to make sure you could see Rob Otto's pretty face on this thing and hear his voice, and we can record him to Logic, which is the software used to record everything. You would think that's a no-brainer. You would think that's a very easy thing to do. Turns out, not so much. Oops. It was very, very onerous, difficult. I had to download a program called Loopback, which when you drop the kind of effing money we spent on this piece of Apollo gear that we have, which is a Universal Audio Apollo as our main interface, you would think this goddamn thing, for what we spent on it, you would think this thing's going to fucking sweep and mop our floors, going to fix the transmission on our car, and every now and then, give me a little sugar on the side. You know what I'm saying? A little sugar on the side. But no, it doesn't do those things, nor does it do basic things. Dr. Daniel Baker, PhD, in the house, coming to us from the new Casa del Baker, Vista, Michigan. Dr. Baker and Dr. Peril have moved to Michigan and moved back to Michigan. And it's kind of awesome. So A and I are looking forward to going to visit there at some point. Rob's going to loop back and do it again. Christine, taco issues. No, we're using OBS, Corrupted Human. We are using OBS. But since we have a couple minutes, and I'll go into our housekeeping in a second, what we've got is we use Apollo, Universal Audio Apollo, and it's Apollo console software. That gets routed, that goes into the Macintosh. Then from the Macintosh into OBS. Then from OBS into Restream, and from Restream, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, all the places they want to see, including Telegram. We got a Telegram channel. I don't know how to find it, but we fucking got one. The problem is the new Apollo X8 Gen 2 is apparently so advanced that it can't get a signal from Zoom without getting third-party software to connect the two together. And it's, I'm not going to get into it because I honestly fucking barely remember what I did for the last 3 hours. All I know is it works right now. D79 and Dr. T. Campbell in the house. Can't chat, but listening. Love to do it. Dan Baker should about OPP. I missed the back. X8, X9, whatever it takes. Dawn Shipley, happy to see you. Tony DeRoche, what's going on? Distracted, almost late. Girl, you're never late. You're always right on time. You got to figure this out. Brian Kane, what's going on, dude? Maya, hello. The namesake for what I would say is probably the single most annoying character in the Crypt series. No one likes her in the Crypt series. No one. And there's more of her not getting liked in Crypt Book 2, which we just got back from Athon. copy edits from Athon. I haven't had a chance to take a look at them yet. Hopefully, hopefully it's okay. D79, you were correct. If you're on YouTube, make sure you immediately hit like, immediately, right now. And that bell should be rung, you bitches. It should be rung. And of course, subscribe. And for all of you, share this shit with your pals because that is very nice. Here is what is coming up. Tonight's live read is Slay episode 100, Torn Between. After the episode on Deep Cuts, I am chatting with Slay co-author Rob Otto, celebrating 100 episodes. Rob Otto's in the chat room right now. You're going to be able to see him. You're going to be able to hear him after the episode. Review The Gangster and Slay, if you haven't already, on Audible, on Amazon. That shit honestly really, really helps a bunch. And of course, you guys, let's go. Boom, boom. Newsletter, scottssigler.com/newsletter. We don't get a lot of newsletters out, but when we do, they're very important. And of course, this is just killing it for us. We're doing so great. If you're not on the SMS list, text SIGTEXT to 855-955-5095. You wind up getting a little money off on some SIG merch, and it works out very, very good. We are also on Discord at scottssigler.com/Discord. And we'll hit this again, but coming up next month, Saturday, July 5th, the Junkies Party, hosted by Steve the Iceberg Rickyberg, who does a bunch of our audio editing. Let's get back to open. Whew. Joseph Aldred, 100 episodes. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Rob and I are just, frankly, we're going to get fucking smashed after the read. And A's not here to babysit me today. So who knows what the F can happen. We're going to see how it goes. Flight of the Bicycle, congrats on 100. Thank you very much. Rob and I are not only tickled by this and delighted that you're delighted by the story, we're fucking surprised. It doesn't seem realistic that we're over 2.5 seasons into what's supposed to be a 5. Rob in the chat room. We're supposed to wait till after the read to get blasted. Now you don't have to, dude. You don't have to do a live read. You get you're like the fun uncle of the Scott Sigler Slices podcast feed. You don't have to do the reading. You just get to be the fun guy, Fungi. You get to be the most enjoyable guy after the read. It's like me with my nephews and nieces. There's no discipline. There's no nothing. It's just like, Uncle Scott's here. He's going to blow some coin. We're all going to have a good time. That's all it is. Funkle. That's right. All right. No, Pam, we do not know how many left, unfortunately, because Rob and I are still kind of figuring that out. These pre-finale sequence episodes have chewed up like 5 episodes. We thought they were going to take 2, and I think I still have one more. We still have one more to go. So we just don't know. Let's go ahead and go to main. Got your countdown timer. Of course, we're coming after the fact. Boop. You would think this is easy. Fucking weathermen. Weathermen do this shit all the time. Whatever the fuck. Then that gets down to 0. You're good to go. I got the gas. Because I get excited. I get the gas. It's just the way it is. We want the Funkle. Gotta have that Funkle. All right, here we go. Let's get ready. And we're going to do this right on time. This is a thing we need to work on because a lot of people want to come in. And a lot of people just want the story. That's all they want. So they want to come in, click on this, and skip forward to the 00, which can be hard. It's hard for me to get that right. So we're going to make sure we get it right this time. Cobalt, you dread getting to the end of a book. I understand. I am doing that right now with Joe Abercrombie's The Devils. But here we go. Let's get back to action. Let's turn this shit off. Get Logic ready to go. Actually, start recording right now. Oh, see? Goof something up. Slay episode 100. Close. Should be ready to go. Save it. And we are now recording. Tech, check. Getting audio. Great. Time to party, ladies and gentlemen. And here we go. Previously on Slay. Link and the gang successfully kidnap Mercutio, whose living heart contains a key to the vault holding a piece of Callista's soul, a piece Dante Oganov wants, to force her out as the crime lord of Lumencia and install himself in her place. That encounter marked Magda's first mission use of the cursed armor of Sir Arnaud the Pure, but it didn't exactly go perfectly. Lincoln fought against this mysterious blacker-than-black armor, hoping to show he still would protect Callista and her interests. Magda was supposed to shoot him in the thigh, a grazing wound meant to prove his loyalty and fealty to the Fire Witch. That shot, however, wasn't a through and through, but rather a bullet into Lincoln's femur. Far more damage than he had anticipated. Now, the clock is ticking. Link and the gang need to get to the Onyx Poison Garden in England to crack Callista's vault, but if he's down for the count, how long can they wait? And if they wait too long, will Callista learn of the caper? Find out next on Slay, episode 100. When it came to the great cities of the world, Lumencia was not one of them. Those were, perhaps, the kindest words Icepick could muster for this Rust Belt shithole. Crime, homelessness, urban decay, and far, far more enlightened than any city should have to suffer. But Herbie liked it, so it wasn't all bad. Herbie especially liked this spot under the Bendelson Bridge, not too far from where Icepick had given the man in gray a free pass. A temporary free pass, of course. Icepick was sitting on Herbie's hood, listening to the traffic roll across the bridge high above and the rustling of cattails on the river's marshy shores, eating takeout sushi. The shrimp tempura roll wasn't bad, he had to admit, and stared across the river at the buildings lighting up the city's skyline. He looked for stars that might peek out from the ever-present clouds this city wore like a moth-eaten mink stolen from the grave of a turn-of-the-century socialite. He saw none. Always overcast in Lumencia, it seemed. While the view was nice and the sounds were soothing, the Lumencia River reeked of trash, dead rats, and probably a good bit of raw sewage. "Smells like turtle shit down here, Herbie," Icepick said. "And I should know." The VW Beetle gurgled in response. A happy gurgle. Of course, Herbie was happy. Icepick had blown the last of his money on fresh catch. Herbie loved fish. Then, a second gurgle. More rumble than gurgle, really. A sound Icepick knew all too well. "How in the blue blazes can you still be hungry, Herbie? You just ate like 200 pounds of fish." The Beetle let out a sound like the saddest small car horn honk of all time. "Yeah, I know you can't help it," Icepick said. "But you're gonna have to hold off. I'm out of money." He felt a vibration in the inside pocket of his trench coat. "Oh, bother," he said. "This can't be good." He set the plastic sushi tray on the Beetle's hood, atop the red and blue stripe that ran beneath the circled number 53. Then he reached into his coat and drew forth the small, red glass sphere Vestinian had given him. Icepick spoke to the sphere. "Yeah?" Hold on a second. Okay. "I told you I expected regular updates." Vestinian's voice, as clear as if he was standing only inches away. "That means you call me. I shouldn't have had to call you." No arguing that point. "I didn't contact you because I hate to be the bearer of bad news," Icepick said. "You're not exactly the kind of man people want to disappoint." Hold on. Getting some crackling here from the phone. The sphere swirled. Icepick wasn't about to make up some bullshit excuse. Powerful people like Vestinian preferred the truth, no matter how ugly it might be. So you found nothing, Vestinian said. No trace of Oganov? Icepick picked up the second to last piece of sushi. I wouldn't say nothing. He popped it into his mouth. But what I have is more gut feeling than anything else. Silence again. Icepick chewed. If this client was going to kill him for incompetence, which happened from time to time in this business, he wanted to savor this food, soak up the night air, even the lingering stench of turtle farts. Well, I suppose I didn't hire a conjurer, Vestinian said. If Oganov isn't there, you can't make him appear. What can I do to help with this gut feeling of yours? Icepick finished chewing and swallowed. I think a patchwork lawyer named Dylan Cantrell might know something. And I want to talk to a bounty hunter named Boss Hogg, but he hasn't responded to my calls. He's in Memphis. Over the sphere, Icepick heard the faint sound of pencil on paper. No surprise, an old-school guy like Vestinian was writing things down. I'll see what I can do, Vestinian said. About Boss Hogg, that is. I'm familiar with Dylan Cantrell's parents. They are not the type to be easily intimidated. Well, then that made Dylan a chip off the old blocks. Icepick felt a little bit better about losing track of the guy. You have 3 more days, Vestinian said. If you have nothing by then, we must assume Oganov isn't there. You'll be paid your full fee, of course. Even though Icepick had spent the last of his cash on his car's impossible-to-fill belly, this was one payment he didn't wish to pursue. I won't take a penny more, he said. Not unless I get results. This time, Icepick felt certain in the silence he could hear a smile. Very well, Mr. Pick. I'll be in touch if I need anything. The sphere's pearlescence winked out, leaving only the dull sheen of red glass. Mr. Pick. Annoying, yes. There was a time to call people out on that and a time to let it slide. Vestinian definitely fell into the latter category. Another vibration in his trench coat. This one felt more in his soul than against his skin. He reached into another pocket, pulled out a bow shuriken, which now glowed yellow. Maseti kuri, kika seti kuri, he said. The throwing spike turned to golden light that shifted, bent, and took the shape of a translucent satyr's head. Golden fur, golden horns, and golden eyes. Good evening, Goriginald, Icepick said. What can I do for you? The eyes narrowed, the rectangular pupils contracting somewhat. Goriginald was trying to see the background, perhaps trying to identify where Icepick was. Everyone did that. But all they could see was a misty close-up of Icepick's face. Always best to keep people guessing. Mistress Callista requests your presence, the satyr said. Immediately! Icepick felt the flush of arousal in his chest, in his belly. The fire goddess wanted to see him? How fortunate. I'm afraid I didn't have time to go shopping, Icepick said. Should I stop by 7-Eleven and grab some plastic flowers and a Snickers first? Perhaps a taquito. The goat eyes narrowed to coffin crack slits. No gift unnecessary at this moment, Icepick. No gift unnecessary at this moment, Icepick. Come to the club, post haste. And if you do not come, we will know it was you. The golden mist puffed away on the night breeze. Goriginald had put the shuriken calling card away. If you do not come, we will know it was you. That sounds ominous, eh, Herbie? The VW Beetle rumbled in agreement. And also, hunger. Always hunger. Lincoln hissed as yet another of Magda's worms wriggled its way into the bullet hole, joining the four who had slithered in before it, who were still slithering across muscle, ligament, tendon, and bone. Sorry, Magda said. Billy paused the movie playing on the big TV. He turned and looked over the back of the couch. You guys know we have a medical room now, he said. Ariella's gonna freak when she sees that blood. Lincoln had stripped down to his boxers before getting on the table. Billy had taken his armor downstairs while Magda tended the wound. As soon as she cut away Goriginald's bar towel tourniquet, blood had flowed anew. The medical room was nice, no doubt. But Lincoln had been treated on this beer pong table more times than he could count. Something about it felt familiar. Familiar and comforting. Just watch your damn movie, Lincoln said. Billy shrugged. He faced forward and hit play. That's all for now, Magda said. You can walk on it, but go easy. It'll take some time before you can move right again. Time. Something in short supply. How long, Lincoln? How long? Asked Lincoln. Callista was no dummy. The red-headed demon would put the pieces together, of that there was no doubt. It would take her a day or two, though, by which time Dante's plan would be done. Or Lincoln and Dante and the others would all be dead. Dead, with little Samuel trapped forever on the shelf. 4 hours? Magda pulled a white mesh-mark bandage from her beat-up doctor's bag. Maybe 5. Lincoln should have expected as much. A through and through was no big deal. With Magda's skills, Carofactor worms could replace muscle in short order. But a fractured femur, bone splinters in his quads, that was a different story. It was a good thing the worms ate scar tissue, or after all the years of fighting, Lincoln figured he would be nothing but scars. A lot of years. A lot of wounds. Too many wounds, maybe, but what could he do? When life hands you blades, you sharpen them. He wasn't about to take a break now, not when he was so close to rescuing his only child. 4 hours, maybe 5. Screw that noise. He had fought through worse wounds. We go in 1 hour, Lincoln said. Magda shook her head. That's a bad call. No choice. Lincoln propped himself up on one elbow. If we wait too long and Callista figures out what's up, she'll increase security at the poison garden. His thigh felt as numb as a piece of lead, but when Magda tied the bandage tight, he couldn't help but hiss again. Sorry, she said. I know it hurts. She wasn't herself. Lincoln needed her sharp, as there was no success in Onyx without her armor. Honestly, Mags, I like it better when you call me a fucking pussy, Lincoln said. What's going on with you? She looked down at him. I missed. If my shot went a foot higher, I could have hit your hip. That would have taken days to heal. Billy hit pause. Or you could have shot Link's dick off, he said. Can Carofactors regrow dicks? Magda sighed, hung her head. Billy, shut the fuck up, Lincoln said. Let her work, will ya? Billy shrugged and hit play. The movie had that big Russian guy from the Rocky movies. Not a Rocky movie, though. Something with a long-haired Eurotrash alien. Something with a long-haired Eurotrash alien. Lincoln wasn't paying attention to it. Mags, don't sweat it, he said. So you missed. Big deal. You got the job done. You rocked it. And on your first time out her first time out since Lincoln had let her down, had gone off half-cocked on his own, let her get captured by Vestinian and mauled by his monstrous Umatakan. Well, in a long time, Lincoln said. Ain't that right, Billy? Mags rocked it? Billy hit pause, spoke without looking back. You told me to shut the fuck up. God damn it. That kid and his mouth. Well, now I'm telling you to not shut the fuck up. Billy nodded. You crushed it, Mags. Dragon let out a supportive yip. Billy hit play again. It was bad enough that Magda was in the dumps. Billy had something on his mind as well. And neither of them had been shot. In the thigh, the dick, or anyplace else for that matter. Magda closed her doctor's bag. I gotta go check on Mercutio. She wiped some blood off the beer pong table. And repair your thigh armor. Ariella, of all people, had assured Lincoln and the others she could get Mercutio to cooperate. Once he came to, that was. Cray Cray Bray's magic mushroom spore ride to La La Land. Once he came to, that was. Once Cray Cray Bray's magic mushroom spore ride to La La Land wore off. It was powerful stuff. If Mercutio hadn't started snoring, Lincoln would have believed him dead. Billy paused the movie. He threw one arm over the back of the couch, watched Magda wipe up more blood. There was a lot of blood to wipe up. Ariella might shit an egg roll when she sees that, he said. What was his problem? I thought I told you to shut the fuck up, Lincoln said. Billy shrugged. Yeah, then you told me to not shut the fuck up. Well, now I'm telling you to not shut the fuck up, Lincoln said. The kid should be over the moon. His plan had worked so well, yet he was in some kind of a funk. Something dark gnawing at him from the inside. That's a double negative, Link, Billy said. Kind of confusing. Don't you think, Dragon? Dragon let out a supportive yip. Blazing hells, Billy, Lincoln said. Can you just, go back to the original shutting the fuck up, okay? Billy faced forward and hit play. Lincoln slid off the table, winced a little when he put weight on the bad leg. That was not a good sign. Charofactor worms usually numb the shit out of everything. Push too hard, too fast, you might open up an artery, Magda said. Doctor bag in hand, she walked off. Slowly, carefully, Lincoln shuffled to the couch, put his hands on the back of it, looked down at Billy, and at Dragon, a furry circle of black on the kid's lap. All right, Billy, out with it, Lincoln said. Your plan worked great. We're like halfway home. So what crawled up your butt and made you a moody little bitch? Billy looked up, pointed to his tightly closed mouth. Yes, God damn it, Lincoln said. You can now stop shutting the fuck up again. Quit pushing my buttons. Talk to me. Dragon let out a little whine. She tucked her tail. Lincoln realized he was yelling. Dragon did not like it when he yelled. Sorry, girl, Lincoln said. My bad. It was ridiculous he had to tone it down for the dog, but that was the way of things. Sure, she ate Lagroons alive and puked them back up, and had a tendency to slaughter anyone who attacked Billy Magda, or Lincoln, and yeah, sure, she liked to roll around the fresh blood of those she tore to pieces, but other than that, she was a very sensitive little girl. Lincoln reached down, gently pulled the remote from Billy's hands, hit pause, then threw it across the nave. "Dragon, fetch," Lincoln said. She shot out of Billy's lap like a bolt of fuzzy black lightning. "Out with it, kid," Lincoln said. "What's on your mind?" Billy sighed. He rubbed his eyes. "I'm having trouble working with Dante. That guy put a contract on my head. Remember?" Of course, Lincoln remembered. He'd almost put said head in a box to cash in on said contract. "Yeah, I remember." "So what if he figures out who I am?" Billy stood, rolled out his neck. "What if he sees through this Walt bullshit? Vestinian's after him. What if Dante, I don't know, tells Vestinian about me? What if Dante trades my life to save his own ass?" Lincoln hadn't thought about that, though he knew he should have. He had been so focused on the opportunity to get Sam back, he hadn't considered what the fallout might be. "Dante won't find out," Lincoln said. "He won't." Billy held his own elbows, almost as if he were suddenly cold. As big as he was now, as tall as Lincoln, yet muscular by far, sometimes his mannerisms alone echoed the scrawny, scared kid he'd been before. "Dante's smart," Billy said. "Street smart. He may look like a reject from The Hobbit, but he's dangerous." Lincoln thought back to another wound. Several of them, in fact, suffered when he had duked it out with Dante's crew in Callista's club. Veronica Flechette's broadsword through his shoulder, her poison spike in his thigh. Dante's goons in a fight to the death with Callista's club kids. How many people had died that day? Lincoln didn't know the exact number. When death is involved and you're not sure how many people perished, that number is usually high. Or the Craddlebat talon wound to his wrist suffered during the running motorcycle/scooter/panther battle against the Flechette sisters and Oleus Oakbeard, with Billy, the tiny version of Billy, on the back of the bike, screaming in run-on sentence terror. Or the broken rib from the alley shootout against Pragman and his dog Gator, after which Lincoln had almost killed Billy, almost collected the bounty, only to stop because of the kid's scent. The smell of lies and petty crimes, sure, but no odor of theft, violence, or murder. Lincoln still wasn't entirely sure why he had helped Billy against the other bounty hunters, why he had taken Billy into his and Magda's home. Doing the right thing, sometimes, doesn't need a good reason. It just needs to be done. "I know Dante's dangerous, bud," Lincoln said. "We're dancing with the devil here. I get that, but this is my fight. If you need to tap out until this is over, I understand." Lincoln did not want that. He needed Billy on this mission. Not just for the kid's magic, his tactical prowess, or his fighting ability, which was turning out to be the real deal. All of those things mattered. But what Lincoln really needed was someone in his corner. Someone he knew he could count on. Magda's armor would make the trip, but she wouldn't be there. What Lincoln needed was someone who would fight as hard for him as he would fight for them. "No, I'm going," Billy said. "I gave you my word. Not going back on that. I'm in this till the end, Link. Let's just make sure that end ain't Dante ratting me out to Vestinian. Okay?" To be honest, Lincoln had no way of knowing if that might happen. No way at all. If it did, though, he only knew one thing for sure. Vestinian has to go through me first, Lincoln said. And I will absolutely shoot him in the dick. Billy blinked, then laughed. Damn, look at you, Link. A clever callback. Next thing you know, you'll actually tell a good joke. What a stupid thing to say. Lincoln knew damn well he told excellent jokes. Dragon hopped onto the couch, her black tail swishing madly, a slobber-covered, chewed-up remote control in her mouth. Several buttons were missing. The thing looked like it had been dropped into a whirring garbage disposal. Billy shook his head. Ariel is definitely going to shit an egg roll over that. Lincoln could almost hear her complaints now. 2 egg rolls, he said. At least. A pounding on the church's front door. Dragon dropped the remote and ran toward it, barking that buzzsaw-in-the-brain little dog bark of his. Fuck, Billy said. Is that Vestinian? The last thing Vestinian would do was knock. Rip the roof off the church, maybe. Drop in the Umatakan and let it hunt, maybe. But not knock. Sorry. Lincoln, open up! Lincoln knew that voice as well as he knew his own. It's my sister, he said. It's the last thing we need right now. A bigger, heavier fist banged on the door, and Lincoln knew his kid brother had come along as well. Dragon barked like a high-pitched psychopath on speed. Go tell Mags and Ariella to stay quiet down there, Lincoln said. Make it quick. Then get your damn dog. Billy made a grab for Dragon, but the little dog skittered away. She had stopped barking and was instead sniffing madly. She ran out of the entryway, tiny claws scratching on the tile floor, flecks of joyful slobber falling all around her. Lincoln opened the right half of the church's double doors. There stood Sophia and Lucas Franks, resplendent in white button-down shirts and brown ties. Sophia wore that now familiar knee-length brown polyester skirt. Lucas wore matching pants. Stop coming here unannounced, Lincoln said. I honestly regret telling you about this place. What the fuck do you want? No snotty sneer on Lucas's face this time. He looked scared. It's Dad, Sophia said. There was an incident at Sunset House. Billy felt the mood shift sharply, from the usually tension-stoked sibling stress to a frigid embrace of the unknown. Lincoln stepped back. Come in. The brother and sister entered. Lincoln shut the door behind them. Okay, he said. What's going on? Sophia glanced down at Lincoln's bandage. What happened to your leg? Lincoln glanced down himself as if he had forgotten about the bandage, and that he wasn't wearing any pants. Don't worry about it, Lincoln said. What's going on with Dad? Before Sophia could answer, an overly excited ball of black fur came skittering back, a rooster-shaped plushie in her mouth, squeaking loudly each time she chomped down. Billy reached for her, but she easily dodged him. She dropped the drool-wet toy at Lucas's feet, play-bowed, and waited, her tail twisting like a miniature windmill. Billy, Lincoln said, would you get Dragon out of here, please? Lucas held up a hand as if that hand... Sorry, guys.
You have been listening to Slay, created
Solo. Record.
by Scott Sig.
You sons of bitches. Okay, here we go. Let's just go from here. Billy, Lincoln said, Would you get Dragon out of here, please? Lucas held up a hand as if that hand was almost more weight than his arm could lift. It's fine. He knelt on one knee, picked up the rooster, and started playing a half-hearted game of tug-of-war with Dragon. Billy noticed that Lucas was opting out, it seemed, leaving the delivery of whatever the bad news was to his sister. What is it? Lincoln said. Is Dad dead? Sophia shook her head. No, nothing like that. He apparently forgot where he was. Lloyd called me. Lloyd tried calling you first, but you didn't answer. Dad was ranting and raving about Jorogumo and giant spiders and anemones. Lloyd said it made no sense. He doesn't know what a Jorogumo is, and that Dad sounded terrified. Dad was calling for you, Lincoln. He wanted you to save him. Billy felt impossibly awkward. A family situation, yet here he was, standing very still, anxious even a tiny twitch might draw attention. A staffer went in and tried to help Dad, Sophia continued. Dad hit her, fractured her jaw. Lloyd tried to pin down Dad's wrists. Dad broke his arm. Orderlies finally overpowered Dad. They sedated him. Lucas and I went down there. Dad's mostly out of it, but he's still asking for you. We'll take you there now. Billy felt suddenly queasy, not from food or illness, but rather because he knew his friend. He knew how this would tear at his friend's heart. I can't go, Lincoln said. Not right now. Sophia's expression hardened like disappointed steel. Or maybe disgusted steel. Dad is asking for you, she said. You need to come with me, right now. Lincoln sagged a bit, leaned against the wall. He stared at the closed front door. I can't, he said. I have something to do. I'll go as soon as I can. Sophia smiled a half smile, a shift of the mouth that said, I should have known better. I should always know better. Something to do, little brother? You got a monster to hunt? The not smile turned into a sneer. Or maybe you have some booze to drink. Maybe some drugs to do. I know how important those things are to you. If this woman's fighting skills were half as lethal as the tone of her voice, Billy imagined a trail of broken corpses left in her wake wherever she walked. She was caked in sadness and emotional exhaustion, yet her words rang cold, confident, and utterly unforgiving. Even though Billy knew why Lincoln wasn't going, he couldn't help blame. Even though Billy knew why Lincoln wasn't going, he couldn't blame Sophia for her attitude. It's not like that, Lincoln said. Let me do that again, sorry. It's not like that, Lincoln said. His words were the opposite of his sister's, soft, hollow, and weak. Link was suddenly in an impossible tug-of-war between his father's violent senility and his son's imprisonment. There wasn't time to see Jacoby Franks, not if Lincoln wanted to reach the poison garden and snatch that piece of Callista's soul before she figured out what was going on. From what Billy had heard, Jacoby Franks was an unmitigated asswipe to his oldest son. From what Billy had heard, Lincoln shouldn't want anything to do with his father. But Billy had grown up in T-Wood. He knew all about fathers and mothers being awful to their sons, yet those sons never seemed to be able to completely walk away, to put an abusive past behind them. You can't choose your parents. You can choose to leave them behind, yet that seems an impossible thing for most to do, no matter how awful those parents might be. At least Lincoln had a father. Of that, Billy was envious. Still holding the rooster plushie, Lucas stood. Dragon dangled from the plushie's head, swaying like the pendulum of some old grandfather clock. Lucas bent slightly, made sure Dragon's rear paws were on the tile, let go, then stood. "I told you," he said. "I told you he wouldn't come." Sophia flashed her younger brother a cutting glance that simultaneously said, "I don't need to hear that shit right now," and also, "I hate you for being right. I hate Lincoln because you were right." She looked at Lincoln. "Turn on your fucking phone," she said. "When you get off of whatever bender you're on, your father needs you." She yanked the door open and left, calm and smooth, yet colder than a sub-zero winter wind. Dragon whipped the rooster back and forth, growling like the toy was the worst enemy she had ever faced. "Sophia thinks Dad is having a flashback or something," Lucas said. "I think he feels something the rest of us don't. I think Dad knows the Unweaver is coming. I'm going to find the Unweaver. I'm going to kill it. And when I do, it'll save us all, but that's not the real reason I'm going to do it. When I destroy the Unweaver, Dad will know, and he'll be at peace. Whatever you're doing that's more important than family, Lincoln, just go do it. Sophia and I will help Dad." Lucas walked out after his sister and pulled the door shut behind him. If Jacoby Franks was an unmitigated asswipe, his youngest son was unmitigated asswipe 2.0. Billy knew that Lincoln paid all the bills for Jacoby's care. All of them. Lucas and Sophia didn't pay a dime. And yet, they were going to him. And Lincoln was not. Which punctured Link far harder than a bullet in the leg ever could. "You got no choice," Billy said. "Go see your dad after, okay? You got no choice right now." With some effort, Lincoln looked at Billy. Link's slate gray eyes seemed sunken, dejected, full of the one emotion that defined the man. More than anger, more than honor. Pure self-loathing. "I told Magda 1 hour," Lincoln said. "How much time is left?" Billy hadn't started a stopwatch or looked at his phone. "Probably about 30 minutes, he said. Lincoln nodded slowly. "Then we need to get moving. Call Faceless and let him know. Then help me downstairs, will you? It's time to arm up." That is it for episode 101 of Slay. Stop this. Save this. Okay. Now we gotta get that deep cuts. Get that deep cuts going. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that was a pretty tough episode. Pretty tough. Pretty tough. Here we go. Delete all of this. Return. Solo Scott mic. Solo the Zoom. Oh, that must be Rob. I heard some noises.
Yeah, that was me.
I was like, is there a fucking gremlin in here?
Actually, yes.
Yeah, good point. Scott Aiken says,
Giant
damn.
ass gremlin.
Benjamin Erickson says 100. Nicely done. Tony, fucking awesome. Martin Evans, rocking it out.
Hell yeah.
Cobalt says that was difficult. A great episode. It was hard to read, dude. Fucking hard to read.
All the feels.
Edward Rocco says, 1 Woohoo! 100 in the books. All right, let's go to the guest main. There you guys see him. There's Rob Otto himself. Rob is in his house. All right.
100. Holy crap-oly.
Hey,
woo, that's exciting.
Hold your spooge, bro. Hold it. We need that spooge for the fucking recorded bit coming up.
I was supposed to hold it? Houston, we have a problem.
Fortunately, as a chronic masturbator, Rob's going to be just fine. Just fine. Not that I am the same person. Not at all. Not at all. Okay, here we go.
Your dad always says we shared a brain.
We did. Let's go through housekeeping real quick. Then Rob and I are going to get to our party bullshit. Right now, I'm working on the GFL 7 final draft, and Crypt Book 2 copy edits have come back from Athon, which just arrived today. Is that you, A?
It is.
There you are. Hi, Pumpkin.
Hi.
Thanks, Peanut.
Another gremlin.
I'm gonna leave this door open too. That's
Perfect.
One more question.
Thanks. Yeah. Different kind of gremlin, Rob. Different kind of gremlin, buddy. Okay, so let's see. Let's go ahead and get the chat. I guess chat. Now you guys can look at Rob and see your chat at the same time. And Sunday, June 15th, Slay episode 99, Get in the Van, hit the feed. Wednesday, June 18th, which is today if you're watching this at home, Deep Cuts 55, an interview with the Scream Kings podcast. Couple of really cool, I call them kids, they're in the 20s, but I'm like, they're nice kids with a nice podcast. I met them at StokerCon, checked out their podcast. It is a horror podcast with a EMT bringing the science angle, a English teacher bringing literature angle, and then someone I didn't get to talk to, but somebody who really knows the occult. So they kind of tackle all the horror things, but that'll be in the feed. You can listen to the episode. It's in the feed right now and see if you want to check out their podcast. Sunday, June 22nd, tonight's episode, Slay 100, Torn Between, will hit the feed. Tuesday, June 24th, Deep Cuts 56, celebrating 100 episodes of Slay with Rob Otto, will hit the feed. And then Saturday, July 5th, go back to Maine. We got the Junkie Party coming up there. Let's get rid of that right there. And is there a Deep Cuts topic you would like to hear? Then you are going to want to send that question or idea to info@emptyset.com. A will do her best to see if we can make that wonderful thing happen. All right, it's time to roll into Deep Cuts. As you know what, as usual, this is bonus content. If you guys only came in to hear the fucking family trauma and hear Icepick set up to just, it's not going to go good for Icepick. At this point, though, I'm just kind of hoping it goes good for Herbie. I got a soft spot for Pat's Bud.
Now, Dragon hopes it doesn't go well for Herbie.
Rob and I have not got to that part yet, but at some point, Dragon v. Herbie is absolutely got to happen. Whether that happens in this book, we don't know, but that is going to be a rip snorter, as they say in the wrestling business. It's going to be nuts. Scott Aiken says A is more of a Mogwai before midnight. Pam Weber's in the house. What's up? Yes. All right. Ready, Robbie?
I'm ready.
Okay. Let me get this bitch rolling.
Set the timer.
Oh, good call. Timer is set. Let's go ahead and hit record. Let me check in here. Robbie, give me a little something.
I'm giving you a little something. I'm talking like I talk because I'm a talker.
Here we go. And let's go ahead. Go to guest main. I'll look at Rob. There we go. Here we go. 100 episodes. I can hardly believe it.
I can hardly believe that we haven't come close to putting the correct amount of fart jokes.
It's a good point. We're going to talk about that right after this short break. Jude Stenson in the house. Brolo, what's up? Got to hang out with Brolo. Got to hang out with Brolo this weekend. Rob, your best friend. Is super fun to hang out with.
Best friend.
Super fun. Okay, here we go. Welcome to Deep Cuts, the bonus episode of the Scott Sigler Slices Fiction Podcast, where a sci-fi author and an audiobook narrator discuss things and stuff in the world of fiction and pop culture. I am Scott Sigler, sci-fi horror author known far and wide as the future Dark Overlord. Joining me in this episode is Slay co-author Rob Otto as we celebrate 100 episodes of Slay. How you doing, Robbie?
I am doing great. I am extremely happy and absolutely flabbergasted that we have written 100 chapters of this 5-book series and that we are close to the end of book 3. So raise your glass there.
Raise them.
Dark Overlord of my future. Cheers to you, my brother. It has been an amazing ride with still more rides to come. Thank you, Sheboygan.
And more comes on rides. Yes, it's been a great. First of all, let's get the metaphorical blowjobs out of the way. This has been an absolutely fantastic experience. One of the best experiences of my professional career as a writer. I've been a pro writer for 35 years now, some of it journalism, professional full-time fiction author for 20 years now. It's all been a delight. This has absolutely been one of the funnest things I've ever done because I've got my co-writer, Rob, knows my brain better than anybody because as Coach, my dad once said, we kind of share a brain, Rob.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And I'm really happy that over the last few years, I've been able to bring the unprofessional back into your professional writing career. So that's been fantastic. But seriously, this is the most time we've spent interacting since we were attached at the hip, our junior year of high school. And it's been great. It really has been a thrill. And I really appreciate you. I appreciate all your junkie fans. I appreciate A for kind of bringing me along for the ride and letting me, spread my wings and be creative. And it's been awesome, bro. And obviously it would not have happened without you. So I love you, man.
Love
and
it.
I really appreciate this collaboration.
And, you say you bring in the non-professional side of things. And as I've gotten more advanced in my career, more advanced in my skills, I'm like, I don't know the theme of this metaphor is properly tracking the character arc. And Rob will be like, you know what we need here? You need a fart joke. Oh, yep, that's the one. That's going to fix that shit right there. I actually brought Rob
By the way, everybody, you're welcome.
I initially brought Rob in. I was about, I think, 10 or 12 episodes in Slay Season 1, like an idiot thinking that I could just write every week and be able to bring it all together at the end, which I can't do. I'm a heavy outliner. And I was like, I now have 72 plot threads going. I'm 10 episodes in. I'm in trouble. And I had to get a hold of Rob. Rob was able to kind of corral the whole thing and like put boundaries into shape on it so we could actually get it into the end. And then it just continued on from there. And now we're almost
well, Scott, hang on. Let's jump into one of the questions we have for this podcast.
Okay.
Is from Sam D'Angelo, who says, I came in a little late to Slay and I wanted to ask how you decided to collaborate on Slay.
Excellent.
So that is part of the story.
I have a bad memory, so remind me how we did this.
Yeah. Part of the story that Scott just told is absolutely correct. He decided to try this thing where he's going to write every week and do it live on his podcast, do it live, and then get your reaction and see if that changes the story at all. Well, he got about a dozen episodes in and realized, I am not keeping track. He's so used to having everything outlined to a precise bit that he was just losing track of where he was going. So he sent me an email, and I'll have to go back and see if I still have this email. Okay. But the email was, hey, Rob, you want to earn $50 the hard way? That's how it started. He's like, I need you to read through everything I've written so far, what loose threads are still out there, and can you use some of those loose threads to try and tie them together to figure out how this book is going to end. That was it. Yep. It was just going to be a short term, help me out this one thing, and then he was going to run with it. Yep. And then the last 20 episodes or so of season 1 of Slay 1 coincided with the week that we were already scheduled to do our writing retreat up in Sheboygan. And it turned into, if we end the book this way, it can be book 1, and we could do a trilogy. And then the trilogy became too much. So it became a 4th book and then a 5th book. That all happened that one week we were together in Sheboygan, where Slay went from me helping you out a little to point you in the right direction to us co-writing 5 books together. Yep. And it could not have been more organic than that. And I think part of it was we noticed, and I know your wife A noticed, how well we worked with each other. We didn't get upset. We accepted ideas when we shot down each other's ideas because they were stupid as hell. We didn't get mad at each other, right? We just went, oh, okay, yeah, your point makes sense. I will change the way I'm thinking, like grown adults do when presented with new information.
I'm grateful that we have one area in our life where we can be grown adults. I'm not good at it. I'm not good at it. But yeah, that's one of the super interesting things. And I didn't notice this a real girl herself noticed this. I think on the second writing retreat, maybe, or maybe even the first, but she was like, because a lot of people give me feedback and ideas. And I actually have a lot of people who I bring in to give feedback and ideas. But there's sort of, there's like, I bring in people with various expertise in various areas and I listen very carefully to them. But when it comes to the hardcore storytelling part, Rob and
You're the expert. You're the expert.
That I'm like, I know how to write a Sigler story. And then this makes sense. You go back to us in high school. Rob and I we're not really good at watching and enjoying shit. We enjoy watching a show, but it's constantly dissecting. They should have done this. They could have done this. I didn't see that coming. That was great. It's always analytical. And when Rob and I sit down together, all the feedback Rob provides is it's not personal. It's just business. The whole thing is a very different feel with Rob. So that's what we get for hanging out. Danny Baker in the chat room says, I hope this motherfucker's paying you more than $50, Rob.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm supposed to get paid for this? Son of a bitch.
You know what you got?
I knew I forgot something, Baker.
Wipe your mouth and call a cab. Get out of here.
He didn't give me the clap. I figured that was payment enough.
Hey, man. I'm as surprised as you are, Rob. I'm as surprised as you are. Let's go. We got a couple of questions, though. Marcus Miller, not the famous bass player Marcus Miller, but if it is the famous bass player Marcus Miller, God, I'm so glad you listen to my shit. Is the after hours hanging out time in the writing retreat different than hanging out when you're not writing together all day? That's a pretty good question. So when we're doing a writing retreat and we work together for like 12 hours or so and then go hang out after, which A makes us do, as opposed to like when we do the boys trip to Vegas and we're not writing, are those hangout times different? If so, how?
Wow, that's a great question. Good thinking, man. I think they are different because no matter where we are and how many beverages we have managed to put in us, we still end up going back and talking about the book. Like we never stop. Scott might stop typing, but we never stop writing. And so, and of course, some of the best ideas, as you have noticed from, the sleigh you have heard so far, have come when we were inebriated, obviously. So yeah, I think it is different because for that week, we lock our brains into writing mode. And I think we very rarely get out of it. What do you think, Scott?
That is absolutely kind of the way that it goes. We try and put it down because I know that when I can go do something else, primarily music, sometimes video games, sometimes I can't go to a movie, can't watch a TV show. My brain's always analyzing what I'm saying. So there's very few things. There's like 3 things I can do that I'm not thinking about a story.
You only mentioned 2 of them, Scott. What might the third one be?
I mentioned the chronic masturbatory issues. What I'm saying is,
see, I was just going to go with sex with your beautiful wife, but hey, whatever you say, bro.
It is, I can't turn this fucking shit off.
Yes.
So when Rob and I are just hanging out, we're like, okay, we're done. We're done. Like we're going to Memphis this year before we've gone to Sheboygan, our hometown, hung out. And we just sit around drinking or go out, hang out on the dock, looking out at the lake that we grew up on. We're like, we're going to talk about this. And then like guaranteed 7 seconds of silence means there's an idea cooking and that idea percolates up and then we just sit and we talk about it. So I think,
and if we're not talking about Slay, we're talking about some other idea that has popped into our head.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
right.
it's pretty nonstop.
The last writing retreat, Rob and I outlined, we can't tell you the title of this idea because you'll steal it, but it's a great fucking title. It's a great idea. We tried to get both Slay season 3 and this new idea outlined together at the last writing retreat, and it's too much. We couldn't get it done. So this writing retreat is 100% Slay season 4, Slay season 5, finish up the whole series the right way, and then hopefully we'll get to that other idea. But it's just it's nonstop, and it's Rob, I would say for me, it's kind of idiot savant shit when we're hanging out talking about stories. Like there's a whole part of my brain I'm not in charge of that is just constant like hamster wheel churning all the time. I don't know if it's like that for you.
Yeah, it's definitely like that for me. Idiot savant. So yeah, it's very much like those of you who just listened to the audio, I pointed at Scott when I said idiot, and he pointed at himself when he said savant.
It's fair. It's totally fair.
Thank you.
Totally fair. A quick notification to all of you watching tonight or listening at home in the chat room. If you've purchased Slay the Man in Gray Book 1 off of Audible or Amazon or Kindle, hardcover, paperback, whatever, you're going to want to go ahead and review that shit on Goodreads, on Audible, on Amazon. And if you haven't bought a hardcover or paperback copy yet, or an Audible copy, you can go to scottsigler.com/slay. Purchasing links are all right there. It's very easy. Do your goddamn due diligence, you sons of bitches, and fucking get me and Rob paid. Let's go back to here. All right, I got another question for you. From David Lamb. How much is the story straying from the outline, if at all? It's a really good fucking question.
The nuts and bolts, the meat of the story, the meat on the bone, is following the outline pretty closely. Just so you know, David, and all the junkies out there, when we wrote the outline, we really should have written more details down. Because there's sometimes that something comes up in the outline and like, what the fuck were we talking about there? I don't even remember that at all. So yeah, but really the story is flowing in the exact direction. There are new characters that comes in. We're using characters in different ways. So that is changing kind of the outline part of it, but the meat, the root, the trunk of the tree that all the branches come off on, that is straight and long. That's what she said. And that has stayed consistent since the day we came up with the 5 books of Slay.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that, Scott?
Totally. And the outline, I would say this is the way it breaks down. To Rob's point, I'm the one on the keyboard while we are outlining, and Rob just kind of paces. I pace a lot. I walk when I think. He walks when he thinks. And I am because this is my job, I become an extremely fast typer. So I'm and I control the Scrivener, which we use to keep track of everything. But sometimes it gets going so fast. In my head, when we have a writing retreat, I am convinced I have had very excellent detail. And then 6 months later, I'm working on a story and I'll get to like chapter 4, part 2, bag of dicks, very important. And I'll be like, the fuck does this mean? So then because I am married to A, who has a memory that is far beyond anything I can do, I'll just text Rob, like, Rob, what does this mean? Bag of dicks, chapter 4, part 3. He's like, what the fuck are you talking? Can you speak English? Because Rob is good at like, give me these 3 chapters, give me this chapter, give me 3 parts, and seeing the whole gestalt of that. And the larger orbit of the whole story, that is not Rob's best strong suit from time, but like when we're focused on a section, Rob kills that shit. But 6 months later, I don't know what the fuck I wrote down. Yeah. Rob doesn't know what the fuck he wrote down. So the lack of detail on the outline sometimes.
It also turns out that Scott was writing his shopping list at exactly the same time, and that's what the bag of dicks turned out to be. So yeah, but it's interesting. We have changed very little in the core story, but as things happen, Scott's talked about this before. If you've ever listened to Scott's things about how he writes and stuff, how the characters won't fucking do just what he needs them to do.
Yeah.
Characters have come in and out of the story because they presented themselves an opportunity to be more part of the story. I mean, Faceless, Mercutio, Bobby the Minotaur. There's just characters that just cry out for, wow, this guy needs to be more in this story.
They were all throwaway characters.
So awesome. Yeah. And he now fills a need that we didn't realize we needed when we wrote the outline.
Yes. And we're going to come back to one of those characters right after this quick break. We will be right back, but it's the dirtiest of all the characters in a series full of very, very dirty characters. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to Deep Cuts.
Oh, sorry, Scott.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This guy.
Let me, I'm going to ask this question because I want to answer it first.
Do you want to ask it after we come back from the break?
After we come back from break.
Copy. Yep. Okay. I'm going to just interrupt me because I'm going to say I want to get back to the dirtiest character. Ready?
Okay. Got it.
Welcome back to Deep Cuts. On this episode, we are just finishing up with Slay episode 100 episodes of Slay. Joining me on the cast is the co-author of Slay, Rob Otto. And Rob, before we took a break, somebody had a question about characters, and I want to talk about the
giant dildo. What was that? So was that a giveaway of the character we were going to talk about? So while Scott is laughing and possibly urinating on himself, I will bring up the character that we had the next question about. It is, of course, Bingles. And the question came from Sherry Plummer, who said, who writes Bingles?
Okay.
I will let you know Bingles is 100% a Scott Sigler creation. Bingles was created before Scott asked me to join
that's good
Slay
to know.
and help him with that. And so I really think Bingles is like the little voice talking in Scott's head. And so, I mean, listen, I will give suggestions about what to say. I will like sexual positions, names of dirty games that they could play on game night.
Yeah.
But the voice, the desire, again, the giant dildos, those are all Scott Sigler. Take it away, Scott. Talk about Bingles.
Bingles is my fucking favorite, character in a pantheon full of delightful, wonderful characters. I love Gary. I like Bobby, which Rob brought up before the break. Those are the like 70% comedic effect characters and 30% like you're desperate to know more about these characters. Callista, Mercutio, Icepick, all of them. But the character that I enjoy the most is Bingles, because Bingles is the most self-actualized person in the Slay universe. Lincoln's got problems. Billy's got dad and mom problems. He's mad at his grandma who kept him alive. Magda's got so many fucking problems. The three characters in this universe that are the most purest of heart are Shitbird, Dragon, and they don't speak full English, and Bingles.
Well said, sir. Well said, sir.
Bingles' ethos in the world is, not everybody wants to fuck me, but somebody wants to fuck me, and I'm gonna fuck that person. Like, he is just like, he's just happy. He's what we're all aspiring to be. Yeah. So cheers to Bingles.
Seriously,
bro.
Bingles' only problem is like, is there enough lube? I mean, that's his biggest problem. And I mean, people produce lube themselves. So the worst case scenario, let's try it anyway.
Yeah. And I also think Bingles is like, you know what? We tried fucking poop chutes and ladders. Didn't work. Let's go to Denny's. Let's go to Denny's and get an omelet. Like, he's just the fucking best. So I enjoy Bingles quite a lot. Rob, so now, all right. First of all, those of you listening at home who are not on the live stream, we do this live stream every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. You can join us in the chat room. We can interact with you and get your questions. You can go to youtube.com/Scott Sigler, twitch.tv/Scott Sigler, facebook.com/Scott Sigler. Join us live. We want you to join us. It's super fun. Rob, we are now probably in the last 20% of Slay season 3.
Mm-hmm. Maybe even a little less than that.
Maybe we are.
It's going to be a girthy book, but it's longer than we thought it was going to be, which again is what she said. But I think we're getting close to the end. Unfortunately for me, she has never said that.
Also, from the chat room, I got to bring this up. Michael Moore in the chat room says, Bingles is showing up next week at P. Diddy's trial, and he's not
Damn it, how did we miss that, Scott?
I don't know.
Well played, sir.
But I'll tell you what, Bingles is not taking one for the team. He's gonna tell it like it is, and it's not gonna go well.
He'll tell it like he is that time he took one for the team. All right, listen, I know you're about to wrap things up, but it turns out there's one question on my sheet that you don't have.
Hit me.
So Scott, a very important question comes from a Billy Walter. Do carifactors regrow dicks?
Well, that just popped up literally tonight. Good night, Dr. Dan.
You may have to tune into the next episode to hear the answer to that.
Okay, you know what? Let me answer this question in genuine creator seriousness. Okay. The problem is Do Caro factors regrow dicks? That was a fucking throwaway line. It's a joke. It's funny. It's a callback. It's Lincoln. We're calling something
And
back.
Link got a good callback line with the shot in the dick.
Yeah.
I mean, it really
And
worked
then
out
I'm
well.
like, Caro factors, do they grow dicks? And then some asshole in the chat room asked this question, and Rob asked me the asshole's question, and now I'm like, I don't know. I don't.
And that will be on his mind for a week, by the way.
I'm not. Maybe we need to explore this, which is why Rob is here. Rob's job is like, no, Scott, we
Just put the dick away.
Put-
Put the dick away.
put the dick away, Scott. Put the dick away. In the chat room,
I would note though that only Scott Sigler could write a fantasy book based on magic and try to figure everything out scientifically. I would like to point that out. I mean, the whole threads thing and the how they all tie together, it is the most scientific magic you will ever hear in your entire life.
Yes.
And that is because of Scott Sigler.
Yes. Well, what I like to think is this is Brandon Sanderson quality magic, just with a lot more 4-letter words and fornication than Brandon would ever choose to put into his stuff. In the chat room, NZ Multimedia says,
And honestly, that's on Brandon.
it's on Brandon. NZ says, Bingles has a subscribe and save to the 55-gallon drum of lube on Amazon Prime. You know what?
Is it automatic delivery every week and a
Yes,
half,
it
like
is.
every 9 days? It just shows up.
He's got a sensor on his lube like, your lube is down to 10%. Fucking just order that shit. That shit gets ordered. He's got a
Lube. He's got a 50-gallon drum lube sensor.
Bengals is the only guy to write his own AI, let's get some lube algorithm, which is like, your lube is low. Also, you need to see your
does-
proctologist.
He does have AI on it, anal intruder.
Okay, in the chat room, Sean Dyer says, well, do fingers regrow or does it just close the wound? I don't get the impression that it regrows body parts. Sean Dyer is very analytical, he's very deep thinking analytical. Or Haimana from book 2 wouldn't have replaced your arm, right? See, this is part of my fucking audience right here. Like,
It's science. It's science.
this is a person like, do Caro factors regrow dicks? And they cross their arms, they sit back, and then they Google, and they sit back, and they go,
Yeah.
here are my thoughts on Caro factors regrowing cocks.
All right. I'm almost out of Jack Daniels. We better wrap this
Okay,
up.
let's wrap this up, bro. We are at episode 100 of Slay, and this is episode 27 or 28 of season 3.
Episode fuck. I like that.
Episode fuck. We should figure that out. But Rob, thank you so much for being a part of this, being on the show. We got to episode 100. Yet one more thing that all of the district attorneys, history teachers, English teachers, vice principals, and principals in the county of Sheboygan would have assumed you and I would be dead by now. They
Or at
assumed that
least in jail.
at least we'd be a prison bitch by now. I think that's pretty safe to say. But they were wrong. But however, we do have another 40 years to go. We can still be prison bitches. It's totally fine.
Works for me.
Works for you.
Slay 3 is almost done. Slay 4 is right around the corner.
Rob and I are about to go to a writing retreat. We're going to map out season 4, season 5 of Slay. We know exactly how this shit ends. We know exactly almost how to get there. We're trying to dial it in for all of you guys. So everybody watching, everybody listening, we love creating this for you. And you all smell an awful lot like flowers. Say goodbye, Rob.
Goodbye, Rob.
Goodbye, Rob. And that will be it. Come back for the next episode. Okay, Rob, now you can say whatever you want. We're done recording. It's fine.
Can I say what you were supposed to say to wrap up Deep Cuts? Can I say that?
Should I record it, though?
That is it for this episode
No,
of
no,
Deep
no,
Cuts.
fuck off,
Next
goddammit.
week, general chit chat and Q&A session.
Rob,
Got questions
shut
for
the
the
fuck
FDO
up.
or for me? Email info@emptyset.com. You all smell an awful lot like flowers. Bye.
Shut your
Stop
goddamn
recording.
Shut your goddamn butthole. Here we go. Ready? And you're gonna go right now and go.
That is it for this episode of Deep Cuts. Next week is a general chit chat and Q&A session. Got a question for the FDO or for his lovely wife, A? Email info@emptyset.com.
And you all smell an awful lot like fucking flowers. Good day. That's it. We're out. Now we're out. Now we're out. Now we're out. Sean Dyer in the chat room says, And that's how you know these guys are friends.
And I know A is peeing herself downstairs right now. Right now.
I don't know if she's peeing herself or she's sitting there with her fucking arms crossed, like, just wait till this podcast is over, you dumb motherfucker. I
no.
wrote that whole
Listen,
script.
Because I'm here, she's laughing. If
Oh,
you
yeah.
did that on your own, there
That's-
would be trouble. Starts
That
with a
is-
T.
Oh, wait, we have a doctor in the house. And Rob, I know you got to go, but Dr. Campbell says
Where the hell do I have to go?
a dick is an appendage and an organ. I imagine it would be difficult to regrow or, Jesus Christ, or regrow properly. See, now it's got to go in a fucking
see,
book,
now
dog.
can it just regrow? Or can it regrow and be used? Two separate questions.
Well, can it regrow and be used, or can it regrow like that was 6 inches, now it's 6.5 feet? There are problems.
Oh, see, then you get people cutting their shit off and buying carofactors.
Yes. Fuck yeah.
I mean, not either of us, because I mean, we don't want to scare the women away.
Thank you,
But,
Dr. Campbell. See, you have just probably chewed up 4 to 8 hours of my writing time. I'm like, but how long would the
He's
dick
going to be lying in bed tonight going, oh, fuck.
would the
Did
dick
that
be
work?
would it be sentient? Would it talk to him? Would it severed dick?
Ooh,
Would the severed
would
dick
you
talk
have to
him?
get recircumcised?
Can the severed dick do magic? Can it grow its body? Can the severed dick grow a body like a planarian penis? That's what I'm wondering. Shit, Jesus.
I mean, my penis does magic. So
Yes, your magic is a disappearing act. Oh,
Hey-o!
shit! I wish I recorded that, but I didn't. That's, God damn it! All right.
Small penis joke. All right, my brother.
Well, no,
Love
that's
you.
a severed penis joke. All right, love you, babe. All right, go
All
back.
right, tell A the same thing.
Good day.
Peace, everybody.
Yep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got to have a few drinks with one of my best fucking friends in the world. I have known Rob for the vast majority of my life, and it is great. Get to write this with him. Thank you guys all so much for hanging out. So fun. 100 episodes of Slay. 2 3/4 season. We're almost on season 3. When this is all done, I've written some cool shit. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm never entirely happy with what I've written. I'm just not. It's the way it goes. I've written some fucking super fun, super good shit. This is the most fun I've ever had writing a thing. And that is largely due to working with Rob on this. We just have a fucking blast. And who knew at our age, after all these years, we get to this super fucking cool thing together and put a book out with both of our names on it, which is very, very important. Where we come from, it's super important. NZ Multimedia says, is the hardcover slate purchased from your website supposed to come with autographs? Well, yes, but you have to put that shit in. There's a form. When you buy it, there's a form. Fill in one autograph. Do you want an inscription? It's all right there. scottsigler.com/slay. If you didn't get an autograph that you want, we will take care of you. Email info@emptyset.com. Because due to the nature of the technology, the book gets made when you order it. So you have to order a book plate separate. If we ship that from our place, no problem. But NZ, I'm assuming, means New Zealand. And you are going to save a lot more money buying it from whatever Amazon gives you there. And then we just send you a book plate. Buy a book plate. And when you buy a book plate, it's literally, you're only paying the postage. We don't charge for a book plate. And a book plate is this big sticker. Rob signs it. I sign it. We paste it. You can paste in the book. That is the way to go. Michael Moore in the chat room says, that is an awesome and super cool to share that journey with a friend. Absolutely. So NZ Multimedia, you want to email info@emptyset. Nick Ladd in the chat room says, dick punch. It can now do it. Nick, you said that as a joke. This is my problem as a creator. I'm like, can a dick do a dick punch if the dick is sentient? I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't know. Anyways. Oh, NZ Multimedia, I'm an OJ from Vegas. Bro, fucking just email info and just say, we'll take care of you. We got you. We're going to take more. You know what? You're from Vegas. We're going to take care of this. We're going to make it all go away. It's going to be like it never fucking happened. We're going to take care of you. It's going to be fine. All right, you guys. I am over the moon. This is yet another fantastic, unexpected event in my literary career that I got to have this fucking episode, and all of you got to fucking be here and hang out for this shit. It's great. You're all great. I'm now going to go chill out. You're fantastic. Goodbye. Goodbye. God damn it, Michael Moore. I'm trying to sign off. And he says, Michael Moore says, we need to ask John Bobbitt these questions. That's a Generation X question. Excellent. And Jude Stenson, the goddamn house, a sentient dick would headbutt others. God damn it, Jude. I'm trying to go fucking hang out with my wife. Fucking A. All right. Good questions, everybody. Let's go back to Maine. Now I say goodbye